Hey, how the devil are you? Really excited today. I can't wait for this one. Okay, so I've got this today. Came today. It's a Cambridge Audio A1 amplifier. Really excited. Got it for £35 off eBay. Can't believe I got it for that price. And I wanted to get this particular one. Now this is the A1 Mark 1. It's the first iteration of the amplifier. I think another 2 or 3 came after it, but I want this particular one for 2 reasons. First one is it got a headphone socket, the other ones don't. And the second reason is it's got better components, apparently. And the reason is that this was designed by a guy called Mike Creek. Now, who's Mike Creek? Well, here he is here, and there he is back in the 80s with his tash. Maybe he was in fashion and he looks better without the tash now. And ironically, in this article, it says that he wants to take on the Japanese. And later on, he moved all his manufacturing to China. There we are. But he's actually moved it back into Europe now, so there you go. Anyway, so he was the king of designing good amplifiers, but for a budget, or for you could buy them cheaply. So he's the director of Creek Audio, and you can buy some of this stuff now. They do mid to high end stuff. If you want to buy the top end amplifier, it's going to set you back £4.5 grand. Good luck with that. If you can afford it, it's a good amplifier, but I can't. This is why I'm buying a second-hand one. Okay, so back in the early 80s, he set up his own company to try and make amplifiers, and I think he did it in his back room of his house with his wife and his brother-in-law. He did work for his father's company earlier on than that. It was an electrical company which did all things like radios and hi-fis and things of that ilk, turntables, whatever. But he wanted to set up his own company. And he came up with the CAS 4040 amp. And he selling it for £99. So it got some decent reviews. It had very good sound on it. For 99 quid, it was a very good amp. So when it came to 1995, Mike Creek was sort of renowned. He was renowned from able to make an amp that was you could buy for under 100 quid, but would be really, really good. So Cambridge Audio tasked him to make this amp, and they gave him a month to do it. And he came up with this beauty. So what have we got? We got the power here. Got a 6.35mm jack, or 1/4 inch as he used to say it. Now if you want to use a 3.5mm jack, you need an adapter, which I've got here. Only costs a few pounds, and it works well. On here then you've got mute, normal and direct. So if you have it on normal, you can just use the bass and treble controls to adjust the bass and treble, obviously. If you've got it on mute, it completely mutes the sound off altogether. And if you want it direct, it takes the way these and gives it a direct source. So it bypasses the bass and treble. So this said to give you a better sound quality. It's debatable for me, but some audiophiles will argue they only want it on direct. So that's what is there. Here you've got source and tape. So if you had a tape deck, you put it on tape. Source, you go to these. You've got CD, tuner, AV, and auxiliary and phono. And then you've got the volume here. And what's quite cool is you actually got on the volume, you've got the back and forth here for the balance, left and right. Right, on the back you've got your RCA inputs, auxiliary phono, video, tuner, CD, tape in, tape out, and then you've got your ground end for your turntable, your speaker connections. Now these are just putting the wires in there and you tighten them up. Some people say that's not the best connection. I'm not sure if these caps come off so you can get banana plugs in. I'll have to double check that. Now, I've actually downloaded the manual for this once I found it online. And it says about the phono stage in it. Now, not all of them have it. And what it actually says is, to enable to play your turntable through your A1, your dealer can equip the amplifier with an optional module to convert this input into a high-quality phono stage. So, I'm not sure whether this has a phono stage or not. It's not a massive deal breaker because my turntable has a built-in preamp anyway. But I would like this to have it, so we'll be checking that later to see if it has got a built-in phono stage. It'd be good if it has. This has probably been sitting on someone's shelf or hi-fi unit for probably 20 years or more. And it doesn't look like it's been given a good clean very often, so I need to give it a good clean. And as you can see here, I just rub the top here. And you can see that is pretty dirty. Let me just show you that. Nah, minging. So I need to give the case a bit of a clean. And also I want to open it up inside and just to check if we can see anything in there from Creek Audio. You know, to see if there is any bits in it, is it better components, and to give it a clean as well. Okay, I've got the outside looking nice now, all nice and clean. All I need to do is take the lid off and have a look inside and see if that needs a clean as well. I might use some contact spray on some of these knobs here just to make sure there's nothing, no dust or anything in them. Okay, so there's the inside of it. I'm surprised how clean is in here, and there's nothing much in there at all. There was a little bit of dust which I just blew away, but nothing at all. I'm really surprised. Unfortunately, there's no phono option. You can see it says optional phono board, which goes here. It's not on there. I did find one on eBay, but they wanted £60 for it, and I thought, nah, I'm not doing that. I'll just use the preamp that's built into my turntable. That'll be fine. That'll suit me for now. I will keep a lookout for one though and see if I can find one with a bit more of a reasonable price. Yeah, and I can't see anything in here relating to Creek at all. It's all Cambridge Audio. And it was built in 95. You can just see here, 1995. So this amp is 21 years old and is still working fine. They don't build them like this anymore, or do they? I don't know. Not for under £100. Fantastic. It's all still working. Really good condition. Very surprised. So the only thing I'm going to do in here is basically I might just put some contact cleaner on a few things, especially these knobs and dials here. Or this is the volume knob to me, but people like to call it the potentiometer. Get it right, yeah? So yeah, the potentiometer, the volume knob, whatevs. Okay, so I'll just give that a little spray around, let it dry, put the lid back on, and then we'll test it out. I've got it all put back together. Let's just check out the specs. So it's suitable for loudspeakers with an impedance between 6 and 8 ohms, with RMS power output, both channels driven into 8 ohm 20 to 20 hertz speakers. That gives you 30 watts per channel. Now, I've had to borrow these passive speakers. I used them in my last video where I checked out a little £10 Chinese amp. And I borrowed these off my brother, so he'll need them back soon. I didn't want to buy any myself because obviously I didn't know if the amp was going to work or be good enough. But so far, it's proven to be fine. So I borrowed these speakers to test it. They are 8 ohm speakers, so you will be getting 30 watts per channel. Although, the only thing is they are small bookshelf speakers with small drivers, so you're not going to get the best sound out of them really. For this amp you need a bigger speaker with bigger bass drivers really, but it is what it is. I just want to test it out at the moment. And what I'm going to do on here, so I'm going to set this to direct, so it's taking the bass and treble out, so you're going to get a direct sound from it. And then I'm going to keep it on source, and I'm going to put it onto auxiliary phono. And what I've done here, I've connected up this little device, and this is a Bluetooth receiver and transmitter. So I'm going to set it to receive, and then play my music from my phone, and it'll come through. The amplifier to the speakers. Then, if you want to see a review I did of this, I'll put a link up in the description just here. Okay. I've connected my turntable up. Woohoo! Okay, it's all connected fine. Now, don't go off at me about the clearance. I know I shouldn't be doing this. It's just for the test, okay? Normally, I wouldn't put this on top of the amp because it could overheat and meh. So don't start typing in the comments, "Ooh, look at the clearance." Don't do it. Don't. Anyway, so I've got this connected up to the same connection, RCA connections in the back. The auxiliary. Obviously, I'm using the preamp in the turntable, so I don't really need to connect the ground because the preamp's already grounded, but I'm going to connect it anyway. It's a shame that this didn't have the preamp built into it, the phono stage. It would have been good to compare them both. But like I said, hopefully I'll get one day and I will compare them to see which one's better. Anyway, let's see how it plays. Okay, oh, I love this amp. I really do. To me, it sounded very detailed. The stereo separation was mental, really, really good. And, it is a very bright amplifier, but that didn't bother me at all because it was so clear and detailed. It's very punchy, really good amp. For a 26-year-old amp, it's incredible. I also connected it up to my headphones, my Bluetooth headphones via this. And it was just lovely. Just the stereo separation, the bass, the mids, the highs, really, really good. I was very impressed with it. If someone offers you one of these for £35, I'd bite their hand off. Especially if it's as good as this one. Perfect working order, nothing wrong with it at all. Incredible. It's a testament to how well these things were built back in the 90s. Incredible. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Really loved that. Thanks for watching and I'll see you soon.